It's only been about 17 years since the last video, and finally we're taking the engine out of the MR2. We've got its V6, it's not ready to go in. I need to take some parts off of that engine, like flywheel, loom, with the loom from the V6, and take it up to my good friend and get it all converted. So today we'll be taking the engine out of that, and then at the end of the video we'll tally up everything that we need to take to go and get it converted to make it work on a V6. Here is the beating heart of Dave. It's going to beat no longer. He's done his last mile quite a while ago, to be fair. We've got to disconnect everything we can see, all the clutch stuff, gear stuff, coolant pipes, fuel pipes, and take the air inlet stuff off, just everything we can, jack the car up in the air, and then that's when it gets really fun when we start doing engine mounts. Not looking forward to this, but I have my friend Nick here, and there's two of us, two heads better than one. We're only 6 days in, and we think about everything disconnected. Had a few issues with a few bits and bobs. Speedo drive is broken. The rear engine mount is also broken. I think that's all that's broken. Unless you can think of anything else. Last thing to disconnect will be the loom that goes into the boot. There's a plug somewhere in the boot, I'm sure there is. And then we can actually look at disconnecting the subframe and the engine mount, lower the car to the floor, and then lift it back off with the engine sat on a dolly. That's the plan. Dave's engine is on the dolly. It looks a bit exhausted, doesn't it? It looks like his arms are giving up and he's just like, ugh. Boot's hanging off. Well, at least with the engine and gearbox out, I'll be able to put the boot on properly. It doesn't look like we've forgot anything, so I think we've done alright. We may have the anti-roll bar hooked around something on the engines. That might be have to be jiggled as we lift. Other than that, I think we've done alright. Now we've just got the just got to lift the car up now with the towing eyes, and yeah, hopefully roll the engine out. What else have we noticed? So my brackets for my anti-roll bar, that one had been bent by the guy who fit the exhaust, and that one completely rusted through and snapped. I do have new ones which are there, so I'll put them on before we put it back in. Super. There is one very, very, very high Dave. And one very, 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 very low Dave. Yeah, he's literally just sat on the floor. I went past Kieran in the end. And yes, we're still hanging on the crane with a lovely bit of carpet helping one engine. That's your head, Nick. I need to take the engine loom off there, and I need to take the gearbox off of there. But for that, we need to get the subframe back on and all the wheels and that, so then we can roll it around again. So I'm going to get cracked on with that. And the car is back on the ground and leaking coolant. Now it's level, or more level than it was. It doesn't actually look any higher realistically. That's because of the really tight suspension. As you can see, no engine. So the engine has been stripped. Took the wire and loom off and took the gearbox off because I needed the flywheel. So I will find out a full comprehensive list of everything that I need to take with me to go and get the engine looms converted. So once I have spoken and I know exactly what I need, I should have everything I've got, because it's been spread out over so much time. I can't remember exactly everything off the top of my head. So I shall confirm, and then I shall wrap this video up with everything needed from this point to then make it run. Because now I need to take everything to get converted, 3-4 weeks or so, get it all back, drop the engine in with the new loom, fire it up. Ish. A few issues with my car that I've noticed. One of the trailing arms, the threads are flat on one side. Not 100% sure why, because it got gunned off but the threads, crikey me, are flat, so I may get a new trailing arm. That engine don't matter because it's the old engine. Trying to think of what's new. Oh, we've got the anti-roll bars to do, so I might look at investing in a whole new anti-roll bar while it's all off. Get something a bit stiffer maybe, and the bushes for the trailing arms as well, because they're already out, kind of, because he's splitting off. So I may look at getting them too. Might as well while everything's off and loose. Cool, right, come back to you soon. I gotta be honest with you, I quite like the look of not having a big giant shiny back box. It makes it look very race car-y. It makes it look very high at the back. But either way, we digress. We need to have a look at all the parts that we need to make this conversion work. So everything, the clocks and to the left, is off the MR2. So we have the MR2 clocks, MR2 flywheel, MR2 ECU, as you can see, 3SG manual transmission, I can only naturally assume, and then the engine harness. And then to the right, 1MZ FE 80, so you can only assume automatic transmission. We have the ECU immobilizer, we have the vehicle keys, we have the transponder and pickup here for the actual immobilizer and the key. There's a couple of extra bits of wires that we've mentioned before in the previous video, which is part of the wiring for the alternator, and then the actual engine loom right there. That is everything we need to make the V6 work, fingers crossed, in the MR2. So all them bits that you've just seen, I'm going to take up to Paul Wood from Woodsport, and the link for Woodsport will be in the description. He is the master of all things V60 MR2. He knows all of them, 1MZ, 3VZ, the 2GR, and he's looked at other things as well. He's the guy if you want to talk to about doing a V6 conversion, and he's based in the UK, and he's about 90 miles away from my house. So I shall come pay him a visit and drop all these things off for him. He'll splice all them together. He'll machine the flywheel so it fits with the new engine. I don't know exactly what he needs to do, but I know I end up with some new bolts. That much I do know. And then he's going to do some trickery with the ECU and to make the tacho work, because you get a 4 pulse, I believe, from the RPMs from the normal ECU, but then you get a 6 on that, because obviously there's 6 cylinders and then 4 cylinders, so the tacho has to have a bit of work done to make the rev counter work. Super. Right, let's get these to Woodsport.